Hi, hey folks, this is Frank from Maggie Valley Fly Shop, and I'm going to tie a little something. It's a Gasolina with a squirrel soft tackle, so we'll call it, I don't know, Squirrelina, Squirrel. I really don't know. Some of you smarter people can come up with some names for it, but basically it's a Perdigon. This is a number 18. This is a Hackle 400 hook with a 2.8 millimeter metallic red tungsten bead. So basically it's you just put a tail on it, and then you put the wrap of the body wrap, which is this Perdigon tinsel from Hens. It's called a 233, which is they call it a dark brown, but if you can see, it's not very brown, it's more of a green, but it's somewhat translucent depending on the color thread you use. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use black thread that seems to be the best color as far as what the trout like, and then we're going to put the squirrel soft tackle on it, and then I may put on a fluorescent green hot spot just to give it a little more zippity doo-dah. So I'll get us started. I'll go ahead and ask for forgiveness in advance if I cuss or say something I'm not supposed to, or do a bad video, or act like a hillbilly. I'll try not to. I'll try act like a professional fly tyer, whatever that is. All right, so I'm taking we're putting a little bit of a dressing the thread about to the bend of the hook, and from there I'm going to take some black crystal flash as a tail. So instead of using the Coq de Leon, I really like the crystal flash tail a little bit better. It does the same thing, and it's got a little more zip to it than the Coq de Leon. So what we'll do is we'll put it up here by the bead, and we'll get a pinch wrap on it. And while I'm up here, I'll go ahead and put some build up a little thread dam right here. If you can see, keep this bead in place. You know, just, I don't know, but I don't know exactly how many wraps, about that many. So now that I've got that wrapped, I will start taking these thread wraps on back. Take it about where my thread ended the first time. I'm keeping these apart a little bit. I don't know if it really shows that in the video. Keeps the tails kind of spread apart. Those actually are wanting to get a little wonky on me. I'm not sure that it ultimately really matters. So, but those tails pretty much suck. So sometimes this stuff can get a little squirrely. So got it in place. I'm gonna cut it to about right there. So I'm gonna take thread wraps, pretty much touching thread wraps back up to the bead. From here I'm gonna tie in this Hens 233 Gasolina, I guess you can call it, tinsel. So I will take this. This stuff is tiny. My eyes are not as good as they used to be. So we'll get a pinch wrap on it. Oh, come on. He's not cooperating. There we go. So I'll just take it back to where the tail are. Now I will take, basically touching wraps back forward to the bead. Here I will put on a half hitch. Keep the thread from getting kind of wonky, and I will put it on the bobbin rest. Tighten that up a little bit. I'm gonna raise it up a little bit. There, that ought to be Yes, right. Now I will come in and I will start touching wraps with the tinsel using the rotary function of the vise, which is a Renzetti. And I will just keep wrapping this all the way up to the bead. I'll take my thread, I'll catch it, a couple wraps to secure it. Cut it close. Now I will actually put a whip finish with this black thread. Don't need many turns. I just did 3 turns. Come in and cut it relatively close. Alright, now I will take some of this Solarise bone dry UV resin. So if you're not familiar with this product, you put it on. It's liquid, gel type. You touch it on here a little bit. Then, so you got a little light coating on it. Then you take a UV light and you nuke it. You rotate it around, and what that does, it hardens the resin. So now it's got a protective barrier around it, which gives you a little more durability. And at this point, we could be through, and this would fish just fine. But I'm going to, you know what, I should not have done the UV resin yet, but oh well, I'm figuring this out as I go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a dubbing loop. If you don't know what a dubbing loop is, basically take your that did not work so well. Alright, so what we're going to do, which I kind of messed up, I'll put just a touch of resin on it, harden it off, see if that'll hold that thread in place. What was happening was the thread was slipping on the resin. Now I think I can do me a dubbing loop. So basically you take the thread, wrap it around your finger, you make a loop, you wrap it around twice. Basically that closes the loop off, and then you have a loop where you can put material in, and we're going to put a little bit of Squirrel. So we take our dubbing tool, our dubbing spinner, which is a Schmayan. I like this one because you can mash it and it opens up, so it opens up the loop. So let me get some Squirrel. I had some already pulled out, but the air conditioner blew it away. All right, so we won't need a whole heck of a lot of squirrel hair in this, so we're just going to put maybe a little bit more. Kind of hard to do this when the air conditioner is blowing right on you, but I will prevail. All right, so you can see I got a little bit of hair in here. So I will take it then and spin that dubbing loop, and that will basically, not basically, it will twist around and bind the hair between the two pieces of thread. So now what I'll do is I will do a couple wraps around it. Then I will take my thread and I will secure it, wrapping it over the top of this dubbing loop. Did about 2 to 3 wraps. I don't know, I was distracted in school. I didn't learn to count good. 2 or 3. So now that I have it here, I want to kind of hold those squirrel hair back. I'm going to make a little tiny hot spot of this fluorescent green. So this thing is plenty blingy with a metallic red. And I will put a whippity-doo-dah finish on it. I might even do 2. Maybe it gives a little more durability. Maybe I'm just trying to be cool. Who knows? Alrighty. So now I will cut that down. Cut it close enough. And I actually didn't cut that close, but you can see. So here we have a Squirrely Gasolina, Fee-Fi-Fo Fina, or whatever you want to call it, but I think I will call it effective because this is a wicked little nymph for the trout in western North Carolina. So that'll do it. Thank you, folks. See ya.